Shalom guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're gonna talk about the holiday season. Yes, the holiday season. Yeah, around this time of year, it can be really difficult because you be trying to avoid Christmas, but it's literally everywhere. And maybe you don't try to avoid it. Maybe you actually celebrate Christmas and you clicked on this video like, what does this title even mean to this video? What are you talking about? Well, I don't celebrate Christmas, and there are many reasons for that. Today we're going to be looking into the origins of this holiday, the origins of Christmas, because most people in the world celebrate Christmas. It is a holiday that the world celebrates all around the world, and the majority of people love this holiday. But I do not celebrate it because in origins, Christmas is actually pagan. And I'm going to share some research that, I've found just over the years about its origins. And I'm just going to read some here for you. Okay, so when you search up Christmas in Encyclopedia Britannica, it says Christmas, Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus. The English term Christmas, Mass on Christ's Day, is of a fairly recent origin. So, it says that this is a Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus. Now, a lot of Christians will say, the real meaning of Christmas is actually the birth of Jesus. That's why I celebrate this holiday. Not because I'm going out buying all these presents and getting all the Christmas tree and all the Santa Claus and stuff. But when you go to their houses, they got their Christmas tree up with all their presents. They got some Christmas music playing in the background. They're doing all the stuff that the world is doing. And the fact that they say this is the birth of Jesus, this day is the birthday of Jesus, I'm going to get to that later on in the video. It says the earlier term Yule may have derived from the Germanic Jol, or the Anglo-Saxon Jul, which referred to the feast of the winter solstice. So, Yule. This is something that I highly encourage you guys to research because Yule is something that Christmas derives from. This is the original term, and like it says here, it was the feast of the winter solstice. So the winter solstice it's basically the day with the shortest period of daylight and the longest period of nighttime. It's basically the darkest day of the year. And the Festival of Yule occurred on this day. It was a feast of this because sun worship was a big thing to the pagans. Pagans, when you look at a lot of religions worship the sun, which is not something that we're supposed to do. Idolatry is not what we are supposed to do. So here you can see that the origins of this are already clouded in. This encyclopedia is not going to go in depth into this, but I encourage you guys, like I said earlier, to research this. Since the early 20th century, Christmas has also been a secular family holiday. Yeah, for sure. Observed by Christians and non-Christians alike, devoid of Christian elements, and marked by an increasingly elaborate exchange of gifts. In this secular Christmas celebration, a mythical figure named Santa Claus plays the pivotal role. So, here you can see it's going into more the commercialization of the holiday and how this holiday is celebrated by people that don't even believe in the Bible at all. It doesn't matter if you believe in the Bible. Everybody celebrates Christmas. And don't forget Santa Claus. Santa Claus, the figure that parents teach their little kids that you gotta be a good girl and good boy, because Santa Claus, if you're a good girl and a good boy, on Christmas Eve, Santa Claus will come down the chimney. You know, I know he weighs like 200 pounds, but he's gonna fit down the chimney, and make sure you leave some cookies and milk for him. And you're gonna get lots of presents. Which is all a lie. And then these same parents tell their kids, don't lie to me. But they are being hypocrites. You can just see this holiday is so convoluted. And like it says here, it's a secular holiday. Even though Christians celebrate it as the birth of Jesus, the origins had nothing to do with Jesus. So let's get deeper into this, origin and development. The early Christian community distinguished between the identification of the date of Jesus' birth and the liturgical celebration of that event. The actual observance of the day of Jesus' birth was long in coming. In particular, during the first 2 centuries of Christianity, there was a strong opposition to recognizing birthdays of martyrs, or for that matter, of Jesus. The precise origin of assigning December 25th as the birth of Jesus is unclear. The New Testament provides no clues in this regard, and that's 100% true. The New Testament doesn't say at all when Jesus was born. And even if it gave a date, Jesus never said himself to celebrate his birth. And as you guys know, I only follow what's written, that's not Old Testament scriptures. I do not follow the New Testament because I can see a lot of contradictions between the Old Testament and the New Testament. The New Testament will reference things in the Old Testament and sort of spin it to say that's Jesus, but when you look back at the Old Testament scriptures that it's using and referencing, you can see that these scriptures are fulfilled or it's talking about something else. And when you look at the New Testament and go back to the New Testament, you're like, wow, they were trying to twist the scriptures in this way to fit this certain narrative. And that's a whole nother video. I can go into contradictions that I've seen in the New Testament and why I go by the Old Testament as the foundation. I mean, that's another lesson that I'll probably do in the future. But even when you look in the New Testament, it does not say to celebrate Jesus' birth. So why are Christians doing that? December 25th was first identified as the date of Jesus' birth by Sextus Julius Africanus in 221 and later became the universally accepted date. One widespread explanation of the origin of this date is that December 25th was a Christianizing of the Dies Solis Invicti Nati. I know I said that completely wrong, but hey, I don't speak Latin. Day of the birth of the unconquered sun. A popular holiday in the Roman Empire that celebrated the winter solstice as a symbol of the resurgence of the sun, the casting away of winter, and the heralding of the rebirth of spring and summer. So you can see here it's talking about, again, celebrating, worshiping, and celebrating the sun, having a festival for the sun. Indeed, after December 25th had become widely accepted as the date of Jesus' birth, Christian writers frequently made the connection between the rebirth of the sun and the birth of the sun. So see here, so what Christianity does is they take, different things in the Bible and mixes with a lot of pagan customs. Like, for instance, the Sabbath day. Many Christians have their day of worship on Sunday, but when you look in history, in 321 AD, Constantine changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. And of course, we can worship the Most High every day, but we know that the Sabbath is a day of rest. It's supposed to be hallowed and sanctified. It's a special day. And so when he changed that to the first day of the week, Sunday, he changed it because that's what a lot of the pagans were doing. It's Sunday, a day for the sun worship. And that was, again, mixing pagan customs with, scriptures. Okay, back to the encyclopedia. One of the difficulties with this view is that it suggests a nonchalant willingness on the part of the Christian church to appropriate a pagan festival when the early church was so intent on distinguishing itself categorically from pagan beliefs and practices. But let me tell you, through history, they took on pagan rituals. That's just what happened. So, there you go. That's what it says in the encyclopedia. And I encourage you guys, like I said, to research the Festival of Yule and also Saturnalia. That is another festival that's celebrated during this time that also has to do with pagan customs, things that we should not be doing. And Christmas is derived from this. So you can see how Christmas is tied to pagan origins. And that's why I don't celebrate it. And like I mentioned before, Jesus never even said to celebrate his birth. If you read the New Testament, you don't see that anywhere in there. And you don't even see, it doesn't even give a date of when he was born. And it's funny when people try to say that they just celebrate Christmas for biblical reasons. And, it has a biblical story, but you see them participating in the commercialization of it. And a lot of people, carry on with that tradition of Santa Claus and reindeer and all this stuff that's made up and scary. So that's what I have to say about it. Like I said, I encourage you guys to do your research, and I'm going to leave you with this one scripture that really opened my eyes and helped me see, what this holiday really is. Let's turn to Jeremiah chapter 10, verses 1 through 5. It says, "Hear ye the word which Yahuwah speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahuwah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman, with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good." And that's the scripture I'm going to leave with you guys today. Don't follow the way of the heathen. Follow the Most High. Shalom.